Sakura Kone agency for YAMI Bolo, and we're here in the NO, as the kids would call it, New Orleans, Louisiana, where I reside, having come back home right after Katrina from California, where I was at for 25 years. So here we are in New Orleans, just had the 4th year anniversary of Katrina on yesterday, on the 29th of August. And for most of the communities, things have not changed much. People are still waiting to try to either come home because they're still evacuees, or to obtain housing, to make sure they have housing for themselves and their family, so many years after. And YAMI Bolo and company in New Orleans, it's been an aspiration, from my understanding, for many years for this brethren. It's getting ready to come out with a brand new release scheduled for September. And shortly thereafter, a video release, which the intention is to shoot it here on location at a very strategic area that have both cultural, political, or historical significance to it, the various areas of New Orleans. And Algiers, Plantation, African Village is one such site that is in New Orleans, and we're planning on going to several others, so that the people could become associated and affiliated with a city in America, New Orleans, Louisiana, a city that is close to Africa, close to the Caribbean. If you're living anywhere in America, this is the city that has that flavor with its unique culture, cuisine, music development, jazz, the creation of jazz, among others, the Mardi Gras Indian, the black Mardi Gras Indian culture, the brass band culture, the era of Fats Domino or Louis Armstrong, and on and on. And here we bring forth the two cities of New Orleans, Louisiana, and Kingston, Jamaica, in unity and unity towards a higher development of the arts, the music, that it is related to the people, to the reality of the people, and not just for commercial interests, but for the benefit of the people. YAMI, so you've been observing different things since you've been in New Orleans. You've performed at various locations. You've spoken to different groups of people. What has been your impression in terms of how the people are either similar to the ones in your country, in your home country of Jamaica, or different? How have you observed so far from your experiences and your observation?
Well, from my observation, I can see that the people minds are still free, and their ancestors had died for us to achieve our freedom and liberty. They had fought for their blood and make sacrifices that I and I should come a future generation. However, on keen observation, I've seen that certain sect of people are still in place, like your own people, still in place like a puppet on a string, still trying to hurt the people in a divide and rule system. However, changes must come, and changes will come, and changes has come, as was demonstrated by God the Father in the Hurricane Katrina, where it not only affected poor people, but it affected financials. Elites beyond the financials. However, I would love to see the love and the unity of New Orleans transfer into the higher levels of the spirituality, more than just the dancing and the money making of the society and the body. Because what God really wants from his people is to acknowledge that he is truly the creator of heaven and earth, and he does whatever he wishes to, like sending hurricanes and storms to watched on TV, where I saw people dying, thirsty, and they were also shot. They were also being shot by trying to get food and water. And I said, oh my gosh, around the world, of terrible atrocities and crimes committed against humanity, genocide, ethnic cleansing, and all this stuff, and the pretty names that the government's making out to be. But if we are not serving and ministering unto the people, then we are not living, we are just existing. And this is why we deem it necessary that we should come over here and participate, as was invited by Brother Shakura, and to enforce the teachings and knowledge of the ancestors that was bestowed upon us, and try to ignite again the flame in a people's mind that has been oppressed and suppressed and depressed and heading for doom. And I hope that they take heed and listen to the teachings of His Imperial Majesty and the ancestors that had fought for freedom, so we could stand and speak as free being, equal in the eyes of all men. You know, not owing our allegiance to flags, but to the brotherhood of humanity. And that all nations should come together in love, because a lot of people misuse the word love, but as they want to like kill each other. So we have to demonstrate a love strong enough that heaven and earth can rejoice, and the angels can rejoice, and the ancestors that have died for this right, give their blood and heart sacrifices, can rejoice in this new awakening, this new enlightenment.
Why, of all the possibilities that existed for you in the world, did YAMI Bolo come to the conclusion that I want to do something in New Orleans, Louisiana, of all the possibilities, New York City, Miami, Florida, Toronto, Montreal, you know, of all the possibilities you have, London, England, you know? Why do you think the final decision was made that New Orleans is significant and that we want to?
New Orleans is the place where slavery still abides. New Orleans is the place where slavery has transformed from cotton field into the computer age. New Orleans is the place where the people, it's like other places in the world, still suffer. They have the problem just like everybody else in the world. And all these problematic errors that's created by so-called ancestors that continues to use the people morally, robbing them of their morals, and establishing immorality in whatever form it is exists, must be removed and come forth with higher knowledge, higher learning, you know, higher technology for the children and for the generation to come. And we must train the children to be leaders in every field, political, economical, spiritual first, and all the other areas of life that they can survive this time and the time to come, and so they can have a succeeding generation stronger than the ones before. I mean, not competing, but this is what is said, that the generation coming more stronger, and only through education and re-education shall this come into being. Because with all the money in the world that man possesses, people still suffers, they still have governmental problems. So ultimately we can see that it's not only money alone, but it takes more than money. Love and courage, you know, forgiveness, tolerance and goodwill towards all men. And this is the true purpose, to serve, you know, when you're called upon, even when you're not called upon. That's the true purpose.
How is art or music or whatever the artistic endeavors, how is that significant, and how do you feel that it would be a way to reach and convince people of the right direction?
Well, ever since the music was created by His Imperial Majesty, the higher powers transcend, and music is like the Bible, it is eternal, it transcends all boundaries and empire. So through music, we will educate and re-educate the people, only if they listen. But because of systems was made to rule, to divide and conquer. There are systems that are set that will permit certain songs of messaging not to play. However, you will hear other messages which will be played every day. But the message of upliftment and knowledge of the higher learning and training will be suppressed by the systems created by men. However, if they should set this music free, then the people would learn through this music, you know, reggae message music, and not all people, to all humanity. Because when the rain falls, as Brother Bob Marley said, it falls in every man house now.